If you'd told me last year I'd end up in a standoff with an Instagram famous yoga guru and her tech bro husband, I would have laughed you off my porch. Yet here I am watching 500 people run for their lives from a swarm of bees I raised with my own two hands, all because someone thought my family's land would make the perfect backdrop for her wellness retreat and a quick $25,000 in her pocket. The name's Wes Hoffman. I spent 30 years running into burning buildings not away from them. Now, after losing my wife Sharon to cancer, it's just me, my coffee, and the hum of 40,000 bees keeping me company on this slice of Northern California I've called home since I was a kid. My grandfather bought these 15 acres back in '52 when land was cheap and neighbors borrowed sugar, not lawsuits. Now the suburbs are creeping in and folks show up thinking the countryside is just another lifestyle to buy off Zillow. Karen Westfield was the latest import white Tesla influencer smile, and the kind of confidence that only comes from never being told no. Moved in with her husband Derek, he runs some data company from their brand new Mediterranean-style house. It's the size of a hotel and about as charming as a rental car lot. Within months, Karen had her hands on the HOA presidency. Her platform, as she called it, was about bringing community standards translation, making life hell for anyone not living out her suburban fantasy. She started small. Showed up uninvited with her fancy sneakers clipboard in hand, pointing at my beehives and vegetable garden like they were biohazards. She claimed my bees were dangerous, threatened to report me for livestock violations, and even sent me a certified letter, get rid of the hives or pay $500 a day in fines. She threatened animal control. Said my Italian honeybees were Africanized killers. Probably learned that from some late-night true crime show. I'd spent decades protecting this community. I pulled children out of fires, kept people breathing till the ambulance came. I know what real danger looks like, and it isn't honeybees. But I also know what a bully looks like, and bullies only understand consequences. So I gathered my paperwork, state certifications, permits, letters from neighbors, membership in the Beekeeping Association, you name it. When Karen dragged me in front of the neighborhood safety meeting, complete with a slideshow of bee attacks she probably found on Google, I was ready. The county animal control guy, Rodriguez, not the one I named a hive after, looked like he'd rather be anywhere else. After seeing my documents and listening to Karen's creative fiction about killer bees, he told her point blank that making false claims was a misdemeanor. Karen left that meeting fuming, her $200 hiking boots never touching a speck of real dirt. Turns out you can't just HOA someone off land that's been in a family since before the HOA existed. My buddy Pete, a local lawyer, explained that my grandfather's deed predated all that nonsense. No covenants, no restrictions. Karen could file complaints until her pen ran out of ink, but she couldn't touch me. Still, she didn't quit. She doubled down, started a community safety group online, rallied a bunch of newcomers for daily wellness walks right through my back pasture. Lululemon as far as the eye could see, taking selfies with my bees. Derek was out there too, surveying boundaries, looking for any excuse to redraw lines. I posted no trespassing signs. I set up trail cams. But they just acted like the law didn't apply to them. Then came the twist nobody saw coming. Turns out their fancy new septic tank wasn't just on their land. Derek's own surveys proved they'd been dumping sewage on my property for over a year. When I brought it up, Derek got real quiet. Pete about choked on his beer when I showed him the evidence. That's not just trespassing, Wes. That's an EPA violation. County Health will eat them alive. But Karen, she ramped up the drama online. Called me unstable, claimed I was harassing wellness seekers, even floated rumors about needing a mental health intervention. Meanwhile, her army kept trampling my wildflowers, leaving behind yoga mats like expensive litter. 3 weeks after that, she announced a full-blown community wellness retreat. 2 days of yoga, camping, food trucks, the works, right on my land, 500 RSVPs at $50 a head. She was pocketing thousands by selling off a piece of my family's legacy like it was a public park. But I was ready. I'd spent those 3 weeks building my own case file, trail cam photos, deed copies, county records. And a new edition motion-activated beehive releases a little engineering help from my neighbor Eddie. My bees are Italian honeybees, gentle as kittens unless you give them a reason. And 500 trespassers with a sound system thumping bass all morning. That's a reason. Saturday dawned with a line of Teslas and Subarus down my driveway. Tents went up, food trucks rolled in, and Karen took the mic, preaching community healing to anyone who'd listen. What she didn't see was me in the background checking sensors, sipping coffee, and waiting. Sure enough, as soon as the bass hit just the right frequency, all 6 hives released 20,000 bees apiece, pouring out like a living cloud. You've never seen yoga warriors run so fast. Designer tents and mats went flying. Derek dropped his survey gear and sprinted for his car. Channel 7 was there, cameras rolling just in time to catch the chaos. Karen screamed into the mic, blaming me for a coordinated attack. Deputy Martinez just shook her head and started writing citations. By noon, the only thing left on my land was a scattering of expensive gear and a pile of legal problems for Karen and Derek. Turns out, hosting a commercial event without permits, forging documents, trespassing, and bribing a county inspector is a fast track to prison. Eddie, bless him, had caught Karen on audio trying to slip an envelope of cash to the inspector the day before. Consulting fee, she called it. Yeah, right. It all came crashing down in court. The news ran with it. Local beekeeper uses natural pest control to expose real estate fraud. Karen and Derek pleaded guilty, lost their business, their money, their freedom. Their wellness community dreams dissolved like sugar in rain. The HOA collapsed. The folks they'd victimized in other towns got their compensation, their dignity back. Pete helped them all file claims. That's a real win. As for me, half my settlement went to the volunteer fire department. New gear for the next generation. The rest went to neighbors, helping neighbors, delivering honey and veggies to folks who can't get out much anymore. The elementary school started bringing kids out for bee lessons. You'd be amazed how fired up a bunch of third graders get about pollination. Funny thing, after all the legal dust settled and the news crews left, what I felt wasn't triumph or payback. It was relief. Like a storm finally passed and you can breathe again. Sharon always told me, help your neighbors, it'll come back around. Maybe it took some bees a little pain and a whole lot of patience, but she was right. Now evenings on my porch are peaceful. The hum of bees, the laughter of kids, neighbors stopping by with tomatoes or thanks. Karen's abandoned retreat. That's a community garden now. Derek's old server farm plan's gone. Instead, we've got harvest festivals and workshops and a neighborhood that remembers what it means to have each other's backs. If there's a lesson here, it's this. Document everything. Know your rights. And never underestimate 40,000 tiny defenders. Stand your ground, but do it with brains and heart, not just fists. So here's what I wonder. Where do you draw the line between standing up for yourself and going too far? If you were in my boots, would you have fought or walked away? Ever dealt with someone who tried to bully you off what's yours? I'd love to hear your story. Drop a comment. Community matters, truth wins, and sometimes justice really does come with a stinger.
Cảm ơn các bạn đã xem video của mình.